of the contributing factors for poor mental health is war or conflict. And Ethiopia is one of the countries that has experienced this, particularly in northern part of Ethiopia, due to the 2-year-long conflict. A very warm welcome to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is ETV Special Edition, and I'm Sentao Tamrat with this. And my discussion point today is psychosocial issues and mental health problems that might arise due to the conflict in northern part of Ethiopia. Do stay with us. And my guest today is Tedros Delnesau. He will tell us more about himself later. A very warm welcome to you, Tedros.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Would you please tell more about yourself to my audience?
I am a psychologist. I'm trained in psychology and now in counseling. I work as a counselor and also a therapist at Erkmad's Psychological Center and also at Alenta as a hotline and telephone counselor. And I like to say that I am a student of psychology. I think it's a lifelong journey studying and pursuing a career. So, yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, yesterday the world has marked the 2022 World Mental Health Day. And what significance does it have, giving such due emphasis for mental health globally?
Yeah, yesterday was the World Mental Health Day celebration, October 10th. We all celebrate. I think people in field of psychology, psychiatry, field related with mental health, we come together and celebrate these events. The motto was make mental health a global, mental health and wellness a global priority, which was giving a strong emphasis to how important it is for all, globally and for all the peoples. So I guess it has a very big significance worldwide. I mean worldwide, across the world. People who work in fields related to mental health, wellness, they come together. In Ethiopia also, there was a program at Emmanuel Hospital and Azamam Hotel and Ministry of Health, Psychiatry Association, Psychology Association, all major stakeholders were there. And I was also a participant there, part of the Ethiopian Psychological Association.
As part of just Ethiopian Psychological Association, how would you just describe the mental health problem in Ethiopia, as well as the treatment and the kind of issues?
I think in the World Mental Health Federation state that currently we are in a mental health epidemic, or mental health problems or mental illnesses becomes very significant and very obvious these days, and so many reasons might come to surface, but currently we are not in a good place worldwide, and 1 out of 8 people are they need mental health services. World Mental Health Federation stated so. Currently in Ethiopia, mental health services facilities are not there. Basically, we lack professionals. We lack resource. Out of 120 or more than that people, 120 million people. Emmanuel Specialized Hospital is the only, and Ekakotabe was the other mental health specialized hospital. So,
Ekakotabe is not just currently offering full service.
Exactly, yeah. Due to the current condition, the services are not there, and psychological services are not there also. We need multiple professionals working together to give the right treatment, psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, psychotherapists, other specialists like child psychotherapists, like forensic therapists, specific subfields specialists are needed in specific fields who aren't there. So there is a huge gap in mental health, and mental health is very important because it originates from, if we are well, if we are functioning well, we can do anything or we can contribute to society. But without mental health, there is no full health. There is no, physical health is not enough for people. So mental health is critical for everything. And one of the doctors there refer it. He gives a metaphorical example with the jabana, the coffee pot, Ethiopian coffee pot, and the rakabot. So if the jabana is the society is a people, the rakabot is mental health that holds the society together, that holds it. If there is no rakabot, the jabana will swirl and it might fail and it might break.
Zamatot, yes, meaning just where the jabana, the traditional coffee pot, is put.
Yeah. So we need that health, and the social wellness is also built on the individual's mental health. It's interrelated. The society's wellness, the whole society wellness, also has a huge contributing factor to the individual's mental health. But it goes together. So I think we currently need a lot of work.
So in general, globally, 1 billion people are just at risk of or just are living with mental health issues. The bigger number would be in developing countries like in Africa. So one of the contributing factors that result in poor mental health is war or conflict. So Ethiopia is just in war for the last 2 years, and particularly in northern part, Amhara, Tigray, and Afar regions. And there are just people affected due to this war in these areas. And so what sort of mental issues can these people experience?
There are so many adverse effects of war. We know. So when there is conflict, firstly the basic social support will be diminished, and people will suffer because of that. There is a lack of the basic necessities. That is important. One of the major important things we should mention is lack of important need, safety and security, which are the basic human essentials to live. To pursue meaningful life, we need to eat, we need to sleep, we need to feel safe, we need to be together with our loved ones, and this is the basic cause of the very big adverse effect of war is this. And then after this happens, there is acute stress. So usually people suffer from acute stress. They will be very stressful. They don't know where to sleep, where to eat, what to do next. So this has a huge toll on mental health, also physical health, also because they are interrelated. So people going through this will feel depressed. They might be depressed.
There are also just stories of rape, mass killing, child soldiers, kind of issues, robbery, stealing, and kind of issues. So how about these issues? What adverse effect is on the community's mental health they pose?
Yeah. Individually, people who went through that, they might suffer, they might be, we use this word more often, but they might be traumatized. There are other sorts of diagnoses resulted due to this trauma. So they will be vulnerable to other illnesses which are can be categorized as mental illnesses. So it will diminish individuals' resilience. And also, we should also highlight that people are also resilient. People recover. We bounce back. We are strong. We are survivors. We adapt. That's our nature. So we have that potential to recover. We should, when we mention the problem and when we mention the situation that results through this, not we should also mention that humans capacity to restore. Yeah.
How can we reduce the long-term impacts of war-related trauma, which may span to generations? For example, the case in Syria, the case in Somalia, the case in South Sudan, Uganda. There are just a lot of issues related with war, mental health issues related with war, that is experienced by women and children in particular. So how can we reduce the long-term impacts of this trauma from war?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, our social supporters help us to recover. We should work together, as a society, and so community-based, healing and therapy sessions are helpful. Studies show, like communal people who have communal lifestyle like Ethiopia, we should work based on our what we know. We should contextualize our efforts. We need community healing therapy. We need psychiatric help, psychotherapy. For many people, so services are important. Part of the this World Mental Health Day celebration was how we could, mobilize the efforts to help out this community. So we should work on that, on individual, because the individual is, the result is the collective. So if individual heal properly, if the individual is able to process what happened, during the conflict or other cases, then he could be, have a chance to lead a happy, successful life, which will, he will probably help someone. So it will heal the community afterwards. So it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy task, but I think it's a collective effort, because currently it's like they call it a psychic epidemic. So there is, when we are thinking wrongly, when we behave wrongly, so it's it becomes it continues, or it might be once the next, because the attitude, the thinking, the behavior that results, that behavior, that condition will go on. It might continue. So we should understand the problem, and we should help people who went through this.
What basic post-traumatic stress disorder intervention mechanisms could be applied in these areas?
As you mentioned, one of the problems occurring after going through this any sort of tragedy is PTSD. It doesn't mean that it happens to everyone. It happens to a small but not very small, a portion of the population. So what happens is, people who went through that, some recover, or some will be able to continue their life as it was, or better, or they continue life. But some might re-experience the event. They might feel it again and again. They might feel that they are there again. They might avoid, people avoid things that triggers them. They might be hyper vigilant. So they might be in fight or flight state, in the survival mode. They might expect to be attacked again. And some of them change their thought process, what they think about others, what they feel about others, their attitude toward humanity. It's a very important thing to have. Our attitude toward humanity is very important. It's by its nature. So they change the condition they went through, changes their attitude and thinking process. They might change their behavior. They might use substances more often. They might even be addicted or dependent to a substance. So, all this could be related with the post-trauma. The word post-trauma means after the trauma, there is stress, a continuous stress. So there are so many things recommended for the treatment. Individual therapy, group therapy, communal-based therapies, even for some people, psychiatric medications, psychotropic medications might be recommended, or they might be helpful for this treatment. But as Ethiopians, and like the project I worked prior to this also helped me understand that group-based, communal-based therapeutic sessions that are very highly contextualized are very helpful for this kind of things, for this kind of problem.
Tedros Delnesau, counselor, therapist, thank you so much for sharing your insights into the World Mental Health Day and the condition in Ethiopia, as well as the possible mental health issues and psychosocial issues that could arise due to the conflict in northern part of Ethiopia. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for staying with me.
Thank you so much. I'm very appreciative for this.
Dear viewers, this is a conversation with Tedros Delnesau, who is counselor, psychotherapist, and we talked a lot of issues, particularly on the mental health and psychosocial issues that could result from the conflict in northern part of Ethiopia, and also the mental health issues, the significance of paying due attention to the mental health. Thank you so much for staying with me. I'm Sintayo Tamrat with this edition, and see you another time.